Hey everyone, this is Bellagio, and welcome back. In today's video, we're gonna do 2025 review, and we have a special guest today. Hey, Happy.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, thank you for joining me. As I said, it's going to be a unique video. We want to make some series talking about the past event that was introduced in this year, 2025. And so we do a quick review, and then we give our opinion about it. And what do you think?
That sounds pretty good to me. So why don't we start off? Let's take a look at some of the first, maybe the intro poster that came with the release of Assault Rumble. Obviously, that came out in the earlier part of this year. New game mode, everyone was really excited for it. So let's get into first, maybe just a quick review of kind of what are some of the bosses that we had to face in the last 6 months or so of playing these Assault Rumble bosses.
Awesome. So we basically have 5 months in the past Assault Rumble that we played. As you can see here, real quick, the first one was like we played with Bucky and then Big Mom and Blackbeard. And as you can see the pattern here, they're like one of the boss is one single boss, while the other two are like a group of the bosses that you have to beat, right? And you have to fight one of them at a time, and then kind of like rotating cycle system. But yeah, these are the bosses that we basically played in the past 5 months. All right, just a quick review here. So what do you think? What do you like about playing Assault Rumble in the past 5 months? Happy?
Good question. So I think PvP is one of my favorite game modes that are on OPTC. So I'm very inclined to like any new chance to play PvP, right? So that's why when this mode originally came out, I was really excited for it. Really happy to use a bunch of these new PvP units that we get on the monthly banners, of course. So really happy any chance to get to do some more PvP, give a chance to build some more teams, try things out. And also one thing that is a benefit of having this new Assault Rumble is previously for the end of the month batches where these Assault Rumbles usually come out. Typically there wasn't a ton of value if you just pull just for the end of the month legend outside of using them for the Pirate King adventures. Yeah. So now that ability to have them there and just give it an additional reason to pull, right? Before, if it was the end of the month banner and the legend wasn't really that great, I might not pull because it would be over once you got the base rewards for Pirate King adventures. So it definitely added a lot of value to those end of the month banners that were there.
Yeah, totally agree.
And also, I just like the fact that you can experiment with the PvP teams, right? So typically in the existing PvP structure that we have in OPTC, if you want to try out new teams, you have to go to the single battles, and it's kind of fixed, and you don't really get a lot of real-world experience of testing your teams versus others. I think this gives you a much better opportunity to team build and see how different PvP mechanics work together. So that's just another reason that I really like it. And I think, lastly, it's not a very hard mode to rank in, and I put that with a huge caveat for boosters. But if you have a semi-decent box, it's pretty easy to rank pretty high, and you have a lot of gems that you can keep using if you wanted to go past that 3 per day threshold, if you want to try to get to high rankings in the mode itself and get some of those other rewards. So at least for me personally, that's kind of what I liked about it. I don't know if you feel the same there, or if maybe you want to share some of the things that maybe you don't like about Assault Rumble.
Yeah, well, I agree to all the points that you have. Those are the good things of having this Assault Rumble. But if I have to think about what I dislike about Assault Rumble, I did mention about cycle mechanic, right? So you have to fight. I mean, you fill up one gem and then you have to fight each of them. You have to beat each of them. The thing is, you already have teams that can beat each bosses. However, let's say you struggle with one of the boss, you kind of want to get higher points on that specific boss. You have to fight 3 of them. I mean, you have to fight the other 2 as well to like come back to fight this one. So that being said, I feel like it's a little bit annoying, I say, because if Bandai could make some options like, you fill up one gem, you fill up and then you get 3 fights, and then you can choose which boss that you want to fight, to get your damage higher, maybe that's a better way for improvement. So at this point, I mean, this would be like a little dislike point that I have. The second one would be, you did mention about we need to have full batch, booster batch, in order to get very good points, in order to get high rank. And that is just a little bit, I say, a little bit harsh to the players, because you have to invest, right, to get full batch. And not only strong character box, but you also need full batch. So without full batch, you can't get high rank. So that being said, it's another dislike point that I have. Lastly, it's related to money again. You gotta put some money to buy gem and so on. If you don't have enough gem, then there you go. You're not gonna be so intense on this event, right? So that would be my 3 dislike points for Assault Rumble. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think I'm 100% in agreement with you on those. Those are that's a very good reason why I can completely understand why people don't particularly maybe like that game mode so much.
Yeah, imagine if we we don't have to put like too much gems into this, and then yeah, we can gain a lot of rewards, having fun playing it. Yeah, that's the point, right? All right.
That's the dream.
Next, let's talk about what are the critical units or legends. Let's exclude the booster units. Okay, I'm gonna ask you questions. If we don't include those booster units, end of month batch, what are the units that you think play crucial parts in the past 5 Assault Rumbles? So let me hide.
Yeah, that's a good question. So why don't we pull up the first one? So we talked about this a little bit before. So I think for my first MVP, who we'll kind of talk about, is the both the Lilith and Vega Force unit that's out there. So for those who don't know what this unit does, they give an attack buff to your team. They do a whole bunch of damage in both a large sideways range, a forward range, a radio range, and just do a ton of damage. And once you guys get this unit up to level limit break 5, 150, they just hit like an absolute truck in terms of what they can do. Now their base Rumble special isn't really the best. They give some buffs to Cerebral and Striker units, and if you have 6 or more, I believe it's Egghead Arc characters or tagged characters, then you also get a little bit of attack up boost. But the real benefit of this character is just that crazy amount of damage that they can just output, especially if you have your enemies grouped in one area, one common area. Yeah. It can just absolutely destroy teams, and that's why they've been a big MVP, I think, for the last couple. I think roughly we've used them both for almost like 30-40% of the Assault Rumbles that have been coming out, and they seem to be a staple that just keeps coming back event after event.
I would say this is one of the units that if you have materials to invest on, this is one of the units you can invest on, and nothing wrong with it. You're going to use it for sure. I totally agree about this one. I got another unit that I'd like to recommend. I didn't think about this unit would be this good, because in normal PvP mode, I rarely see her, but she showed up in Assault Rumble, and that unit is this lady, Nami, Dex version, Striker unit, and her special ability is basically. The crucial one is that your two teammates, Striker teammates, get special CT back to 100% again, and then those 2 units get haste. So back and then hit again. And it's just, combo it with previous unit, Lilith and Vega Force. Imagine that unit, Lilith and Vega Force, just hit 3 times to a big group of enemies. And then this lady activated, and then Lilith just hit another time. It's just insane. And because of in the past Assault Rumbles, it's been focusing around Striker team, so we have to build Striker, and therefore there you go. This unit is just absolutely crazy, in my opinion. I think she deserves an MVP for Assault Rumble mode.
Yeah, probably the most MVP memories unit I think that we've gotten out of all of them. I think she just does so much on that PvP front that she's just a huge staple every time.
But anyway, if you want to invest on this unit, I think up to, you don't have to put too much on it. I think she's just going to be staying at Assault Rumble. She's not going to be at any good in normal PvP content, right? All right, what do you think about the next one?
All right, so for the next one, we're going to kind of throw it back to my boy Luffy, my favorite character, of course, in One Piece. And we're going to do the Luffy Kaido unit here. So you get the 2-for-1. So in this video, we're really focusing on the Kaido aspect of this unit here. So for those of you who don't know what this unit can do in PvP, it gives some attack buff, which is just kind of whatever to Dex characters, but you get some CT speed increase, which is always helpful for getting specials off. You get damage through defense, which again is just another key for a lot of these teams for doing a lot of damage, and does it to 3 enemies 2 times, so a bunch of hits. And then if it's in the first 60 seconds of the battle, you give some paralysis to some units, so especially in scenarios where you're trying to stall out or trying to, wait for your heavy hitters to really go, that paralysis really kind of helps give you a little bit of an opportunity to do that. So that's kind of key. And then on the flip side of that, once 50 seconds are left or less, then he does a 3 times attack damage to all enemies in a giant range. And then obviously if you have 3 times attack damage plus the 1.2 times damage to defense, he just absolutely will light teams up and just get through a bunch of the content. And there's been a lot of quick bosses, it seems, proportionally for the amount of bosses out there. So the unit has always kind of found a nice staple in those teams, and the fact that he's also powerhouse means that if you have to switch him around to some other teams, he has some good synergy in those teams as well. Though he does kind of like to be in a primarily Dex team, he is flexible enough to kind of bring him outside of those as well. So fantastic unit, can just absolutely hit like a tank. If you get him up to level limit break 5, which is a little bit harder than obviously with maybe like the Lilith and the Vega Force unit there. But if you can get him up to level limit break 5, he just absolutely trucks when he hits that damage to defense and just makes him a staple on a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I remember in the past month, Assault Rumble, there was one boss that was like, it was quick. So I have to come up with a team that could do tons of damage, and I was thinking about creating team around the booster units. But then I think outside of the box and just put him in, plugged in the Dex team, and the damage output is just almost the same. Like, okay, you don't really need a booster, but yeah, that's why he deserved this. I totally agree. Now, let's move on to the next unit that we think has potential, and that would be, I think everyone knows about this unit, how good he is. Pika. He's just, he's so good at the current PvP mode, but we think that Assault Rumble from now on will be moving on, focusing on Driven. Actually, we have seen it, some Driven advantage. So if it's going to be really focusing on Driven, then building teams surrounding using unit, that'd be I think that would be something to look forward to. Okay, not much to speak about him. I think everyone knows how good he is, right?
Yeah, I think originally, for me at least, he was. I thought he was underrated when he first came out, and then once I started seeing like what he could actually do, I was like, "Wow, this guy is really good." And that's why we added him to this list.
Yeah, we can't really underrate him. And next one, of course, this is another unit. What do you think about her?
I mean, S-Snake has just been absolutely crazy in what she can do when she comes in. It seems like they like having this unit everywhere, right? And mostly because I think in the current meta, right, shooter teams were so crazy in terms of what they could do, right? So having a unit along with Boa or the quick Luffy, right, that could really help kill shooters was a key part in helping her longevity and making her really a key part in a lot of these teams, right? So for those who don't know what she actually does, she does remove 50% of special CT for one debuff style enemy, so that's great for getting rid of CT for shooters. You can get action bind on 2 enemies. If you have 6 or more fighter or driven characters, I think it is, you can get confusion for 10 seconds. So there's just a lot of really good stuff that this unit does. And of course, the big thing is if there's 5 or more shooters on the team, then she gives a level 5 CT CT buff up to herself to let her get her special off, right? So just a lot of stuff to love about there. And the fact that as part of her default base kit, her kind of rumble ability, if there's a lot of shooters on the field, then start of the field, or start of the battle, I should say, she automatically gets 30% of her CT removed, right? So she's going to go fast. She's going to absolutely hit like a tank to a bunch of units, and basically let someone like Boa or Luffy come in and just wipe out everyone. But the speed that she is able to let people get their specials off and also really debuff that shooter team, just make her someone that will have, I think, a lot of longevity from here on for the foreseeable future, at least.
Right. All right, I think we speak too much about units. I have one last unit I want to mention, because this Caesar, again, everyone already knows, it's just recently come out. Many of you have probably played against him, or even have him in your batch, in your team, and you know how crazy this guy is. Very good debuff. Lots of starting from the beginning of the fight, spatial is ready to activate. It's just crazy, right? So I just think that if we are shifting towards cerebral and cerebral focus, I think he might come into play. This is just something to pay attention to. That's all for me, I think. You have any comment? Happy?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that the debuff that Caesar can give if you have 3 scientists, zone, or some other tags that are out there, like you can slot him into a bunch of different teams, right? I've seen him put into a bunch of different teams, and he works really well in all of them. Just absolutely debuffing the enemy from doing their specials. So, I foresee this unit getting a lot of play going forward if you to kind of slot into a lot of multiple teams. Because as long as you have 3 characters on the bench who are scientists or zone or those tags, then you automatically basically can debuff the enemy almost level 8 CT down like right off the bat, which is kind of insane.
Actually, I do have one more point, because he put that damage over time right in the beginning, and because of Assault Rumble, the boss never died, right? Even though their HP is down, and every time the boss attack us, he will get damage over time. So maybe he will generate a lot of damage in AR mode. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think one of the things too, and I haven't validated this myself, I read it through one of the various channels there, but I think they were saying that even as you apply more defense down to enemies, that damage over time does even more damage, right? So the more you keep debuffing and throwing defense down on your enemies, and the more that damage over time keeps ticking, you're just going to keep doing more and more and more and more damage, right? Which is really powerful for, like you said, taking huge chunks of HP off those bosses in Assault Rumble.
My finger crossed. Hopefully, boss doesn't have damage over time immunity.
Yeah, like a nullification or something like that. Yeah, that would
hurt. All right. Anyway, let's wrap up. If I ask you to give me just 3 words, just to sum it all in just 3 words for Assault Rumble, what would you give me?
So first, I'd probably
give the audience. Give the audience.
Yeah. So first, I'd probably say needed, right? I think there wasn't a lot of really PvP modes outside of Grand Party, and yeah, you have like the daily Pirate Rumble, right? But this is just a really fun mode that doesn't take a lot of time. So I think it's really good for getting people more involved in PvP and actually caring about PvP and investing there. So needed would probably be my first word. Frustrating, I'll say, would probably my second word, just because I know sometimes if you're trying to get through one of the bosses, they tend to make one of the bosses more difficult than the others, right? So if you don't have really highly invested units, sometimes it can be really hard to get through that one boss to get to the other ones, right? So you can get a higher score and higher rank in there. So that is a little bit frustrating there. And then my final word I'll use to describe this game mode would probably be enjoyable. Like I actually really do enjoy the fact that you can kind of keep using gems if you mess up or experimenting, right? Grand Party, yeah, you get 3 tries a day, but once, for example, you fail a fight or anything like that, like you're cut off from the max rewards, right? Whereas here, it's a little bit more forgiving in terms of how you build teams, and if you build a team and it doesn't work, okay, it might cost you a gem if you want to get 3 more tries, right? But ultimately, it's not as brutal as some of those other game modes. So I do like it, and that's kind of my 3 words I used to describe Assault Rumble. How about you?
How about me? Well, my first word would be fun. I think it's fun. Period. Second word would be creativity. I would say Bandai has very good creativity on this, and because of this mode, also make us be creative. Like think of a way to get the high damage and so on. It's part of the fun, and yeah. So, and my third word would be a free to play unfriendly. Because the way it is, you need a strong character box, and free to play players, just frankly speaking, they're not gonna have super strong or character box, so they might not enjoy it as much. So if I have to sum it, my last word would be something that hopefully Bandai listen and think about a way to make them enjoy, right?
Yeah, I think that's not unique to this game mode, right? It seems like
Right.
when Bandai is releasing new stuff, it's more geared towards veteran players, right, or people who have full boxes or have like really heavily invested units, right? So it could feel pretty overwhelming if you're a free-to-play player, for example, and you're trying to survive or get a high rank in there. It can be pretty difficult.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Now that's it, I think, for Assault Rumble. So I'd like to close the video. Thanks for everyone that's watching up to this point. If you like this kind of content, please hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for Happy for coming to join me. We'll see you in the next video. Happy?
Thanks so much for having me. Like I said, it's been a joy to do these kind of videos with you. I know we have a bunch more that I think we want to try to do together. Hopefully bring a lot of content to the community, which is always welcome, always appreciated. So of course, make sure you follow Bellagio. He's an absolutely awesome content creator, great Guild member and Alliance member as well. So always appreciate all the collaboration and things that we do, and hope to help everyone get better in the game, right? Or if you're a new player, get acclimated to how the game works and what you might want to do to have the best experience here. So thank you again for having me. Of course, like I said, mentioned, like and subscribe to all the content. It's always good, helps all of us out, right? Helps us get into the algorithm so we get more visibility, and let's help get Bellagio up to 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.